So we don't sell produce here much at Polyface. In the past, we've had a couple people in past years who took an interest in the horticulture and did sell produce here. Right now, we don't have anybody. I'm looking for somebody to come and actually build a horticulture business here. So so we garden for ourselves. So we garden, of course, in the hoop houses. In these hoop houses that are empty in the summer, we raise produce in these, and that's a wonderful season extension. The chickens are in here in the wintertime, chickens, pigs, rabbits in here in the wintertime. So you have this wonderful, debugged, rich, fertile soil on the ground, and that's worked quite well. Some things like it better than others. Probably the thing that likes the hoop house more than any other thing, at least here, is the tomato. Early on, of course, you can go with, greens and hardy stuff. But once summer comes on, things are going to bolt because it's going to get too hot for the, brassicas, cabbages, all those sorts of things. What Teresa and I have done on our own personal garden is we've gone to raised beds that are 30 inches high, and we're getting at the point where we don't like to stoop over as much anymore. So we've gone to raised beds using sawmill slabs from the sawmill to make hugelkultur beds. Put the slabs underneath. If you're familiar with hugelkultur, that's a Austrian invention where you basically use wood scraps like in a windrow, and then you put soil over top, and those wood scraps act as a subterrestrial irrigation, because the wood gets soft and spongy and water absorptive, and the plant roots go down and they actually penetrate into that wood, and the wood's very aerated in there. A lot of oxygen, a lot of air in there, and we like it. So we fill the bottom of these beds with slab wood, and then put about 10 to 12 inches of soil and compost on top. That gives us a 30-inch high bed that rabbits can't get in, groundhogs can't get in. Only thing that can get it to them is deer. And that's where you have a dog or a canopy on top or something. But that's kind of the way we do. We love the raised bed because it's very child friendly. Toddlers and stuff can run around in your garden and they're not going to mess up the plants and get in them. So it's very child friendly. It keeps small things, rabbits and stuff, out, and you can work them without bending over. That's the beauty of it. And a few square feet done efficiently and well, as gardening guru John Moody says. He says our goal is that the sun never hits the soil, and so you want to crowd your plants in there tightly so the foliage crowds the soil. We use, and then along with that, we kind of do the Paul Gauci Back to Eden with the deep wood chips, and the key to that is to never use wood chips that the parent material is recognizable. So you want to use something that's wood chips that are broken down enough that you can't tell what kind of species they came from. So you want them to be dark and kind of broken down before you put them on. But good broken down wood chips, very deep, make a wonderful thing, and you don't have to till, you don't have to do anything, and even weeds you pull, you're at waist level. Really makes it better. So the carbonaceous diaper is a wonderful thing, and it doesn't really matter what carbon you use. Well, it does matter, but a lot of different carbons can be used. I ran into a guy in Ontario that had a dairy, and of course Ontario has long winters, and but he didn't have any trees on his farm, so he wasn't able to get wood chips, which is our carbon of choice here. We got a lot of trees, so we use wood chips, but he didn't have any, so he actually grew a couple of acres of long-stemmed rye every year. and I mean, this stuff will grow, 8 feet tall. He let the rye get almost to shatter stage, where it was almost would shatter out of the seed head. Then he'd bale all this, and that's what he used for carbon. And the beauty was that the seeds to entice the pigs for pigerating was already embedded in it because he was using the rye. And he was happy. It worked really well. Now, anybody that's ever shoveled out a stable knows that, the idea of, using 8-foot long pieces of straw for a bedding, that sounds like a nightmare to dig out, because it binds up in there. The beauty is the pigs rip it all up, tear it all up in their pigerating, and so when you go to dig it out, it's all, friable and nice. So, that's one of the more interesting permutations on the theme that I've seen. But yeah, people can use, if you're down south, you might use peanut hulls, cotton ginning trash. Up in Iowa, I've seen people use ground up corn cobs, like from corn, Pioneer corn seeds, and you've got all these big shellers. So you got all this corn cob material. Any carbonaceous material will work. Probably the most, ubiquitous in the country is wood chips, because there are trees everywhere, and chippers are pretty common. So that's probably the normal thing. As far as the different animals, cows, the thing about the carbonaceous diaper is you don't want to get into it to till it up, during the winter. So the cows, we let it build. The cows are tromping out the oxygen. It's anaerobic. The chickens, of course, scratch. The pigs root. And so the pigs and the chickens, they will, it's a lot more aerobic. The carbonaceous diaper is a lot more aerobic. One of the things that we have done with the chickens in years is sometimes chickens will, it'll cap over, because they can't churn it up fast enough to keep up with the manure load going on. And so we've actually run pigs through there. Pigs will dig down and uncap it, and then you can take the pig somewhere else, or you can have a portable pen. I made like a 6 by 8 foot pen, put 2 little pigs in there, and we just walk it through the chickens, and the pigs would decap until deep, expose worms, and the chickens would just jump in there with the pigs and eat the worms that the pigs exposed because they dug down deeper. There are a lot of permutations to that theme, but it all runs on, you got to think about your carbon source and make sure that you have your structures, whether it's hoop houses, barns, buildings, whatever it is. Make sure that your sides are tall enough to accommodate depth. The carbonaceous diaper works because it's deep. And, a 4 inches is not a carbonaceous diaper. It has to be at least 12 inches, ideally more like 24 inches, to really get all the benefits of the carbonaceous diaper.